door. Let's go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the third series of the day here on the second stream for the International 2015 group stages. Navi versus MVP Phoenix in, once again, a two-game series here. And, well, the drafting stage well underway here. It's going to be myself, ODPixel, and Draskell joining you for this one. And the ban so far, well, pretty much what you want to be doing against both these teams. Navi, they take away the Naga Siren from MVP. We know that KP is a bit of a beast on it. And MVP, they're obviously watching that last game. They take away the Leshrac, of course. Do not want Dendi doing what he did last game once more against these guys instead. And they also take away the Seneko Wyvern.
Tusk first pick.
You calling it?
That's what I think.
They wouldn't pick up the Earth Shaker?
They could go Shaker. They could. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
Queen.
Queen. All right, I was wrong. Dang. Okay, so the Shadow Fiend's available. They can go SF Tusk, or they can just go Bounty.
Ooh, now this is
Oh
something
yeah,
that
Bounty
teams-
was
yes.
Bounty was banned. Okay.
Bounty was banned pretty much every time against MVP Phoenix.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just funny how much things change from a matchup to matchup basis. Like the last series, people were very prioritizing like Shadow Fiend. They were prioritizing Tusk. You know, in Bounty Hunter, I think he was seen one game, right? Yeah. Big Daddy No Tail played him in the first game.
We saw Big Daddy Bouncy, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of interesting how teams prioritize things. Like SF and Tusk making it through the first phase almost completely, like untouched, is a little bit surprising. And Navi already having picked up Queen of Pain, I'm just assuming that's Dendi's hero, and they will secure the Seneko Shaker. I mean, it's devastating, but we also have to assume, like, Cloud9, when they played that last matchup against Navi, Seneko was the playmaker. He was the guy who was ensuring basically that mid and top lane both won pretty hard with the Queen of Pain matchup already versus whatever MVP Phoenix are going to be fielding mid. I'm not sure if Dendi's going to need that much help mid because Queen is just that strong of a laning hero. Could be seeing Kuo go back towards his TA or go back towards Alina. And he wasn't afraid to play TA up against Korok's Queen of Pain. We saw that yesterday. So it is possible that they could bring that to the table as well.
Yeah, they're certainly going to need something because, well, we were talking about the duo of Seneko and Dendi walking around the map with the whole Shaker, Leshrac. You can obviously pretty much do the same stuff with a Quap on the side. You're going to have that ability to go around the lanes, create havoc globally. And Seneko's Shaker last game was pretty much on point, so he's certainly warmed up, and I'm sure he's ready for another round of it. Let's see if MVP Phoenix do have the capabilities to deal with what is the Seneko Shaker.
I'm trying to think. So Navi, they started off with a pretty ambiguous two heroes, right? Like it's pretty hard to know exactly what they're going to be doing because Shaker is that hero who can pretty much do anything he wants. Like he can roam, he can do pulls, you know, he can sit mid and camp the lane for his mid if the mid actually needs that. I don't think that's going to be the case here. Whereas MVP, they already have a hero who's going to be kind of just dedicated to roaming around. And I think MVP, this is within their comfort zone. Like when they played against Archon, they did this with the Bounty Hunter and the PA mid, and they pretty much just camped him and just made his life total hell. Now, you can kind of do the same thing against Queen just by being annoying and things like that, but if you get pulled a Sentry, it shouldn't be too much of an issue for them. I'm also kind of wondering, are they going to actually try to go for this very mid-game, we're going to base everything off of track fighting style, or are they going to try to pick another mid that transitions better into the late game? Because already, they're banning Tusk, which makes me think that they want to pick SF. Like, when you ban Tusk, it just makes an SF pick that much more attractive to the team. But the problem with that is you already have one hero who's going to be roaming, who I guess Bounty could help the SF. But okay, they ban it. Never mind. I was going to say, that could be a nice pick for them. But Navi, they're one step ahead.
Indeed. I think, as you said, yeah, Bounty, if we see him do what we saw him do in the other game that Phoenix were able to get him in that situation where he does simply just sit around the mid lane, try and help get the mid laner of Phoenix a little bit of a head start into the game. And now fourth bound from the side of Phoenix. Obviously, Navi, they've got a lot of patented heroes that they're incredibly strong on. Anyone else come to mind that you want to be taken away from them?
Well, it's a bit early. Spirit Breaker is another very common ban at this particular juncture. It's like that hero that we don't know if we're going to be picking a lot of disables. They could also go for a Dazzle or a Bane ban. That's two heroes that Navi have been favoring pretty heavily. It's just going to be Clock, which I get. That's actually interesting because I feel like MVP could have just picked Clock. I think because they have the first pick out of this phase, Gyro Clock is a combination that we've been seeing for a couple of patches now. It's very potent. It's good against Shaker. Right now, Shaker as a safe lane support against Clockwork is also not really that good unless you're able to get like a very high damage dealing safe lane, which Gyrocopter is actually already taken away from them. So Navi would not have been able to get that combination of high damage and being able to fissure block at the same time.
I mean, I guess the question is as well, we saw before when Navi went up against Cloud9. Cloud9, they had a Bounty Hunter and a Gyro. Navi, they opted for the Havor Slardar. Do you think there's a potential that we could see that hero come out again?
It is possible, but it's also possible that they only picked up the Slardar because they had Shadow Fiend already.
Okay.
And they just wanted that synergy of having the minus armor. But actually, it's becoming better as a pick by seeing what MVP are picking right now. So Lion, Gyro, Bounty, again, once you have BKB against those heroes, they pretty much don't do anything at all. Like, you can just jump on a Lion, kill him. You can jump on the Bounty, you can kill him. So I think Slardar is actually really good. I don't know if they pick him now, but they definitely could if they want to.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do opt for Havorst in this situation. The third pick anyway, we're still kind of looking for Artstar. The Bane is still there. We know that Artstar does love to play the Bane, and we've seen him do a lot for the team on the Bane. So Bane is certainly an option I'm sure they potentially will be thinking about. Still also expecting to see Funix hero come out. As you said, Spirit Breaker might be a good option. We do see teams like to pick it up against lineups with the Bounty Hunter. In the sense you can just zone him down with that dust, with the charge, head straight for him, and look for the pickoffs towards the earlier stages of the mid-game. Let's have a look. Navi now down into the extra bonus time. And still waiting for Funnick, Havorse, and, of course, Artstar's heroes to be revealed.
Navi are definitely taking their sweet time with this pick. They could just go with Slardar, because Bounty Hunter being picked up already, Slardar, Shaker, the one downside to that lane is it's dual melee. So if, for whatever reason, you're going to be putting those two heroes together, the off lane from MVP Phoenix, they could kind of tailor build their lineup to kind of do well in that lineup. Wow, Mag.
Okay, so is that opting towards a Funnick Quap? Or is it?
It could be. I think it might even be more likely that Funnick plays Queen than Funnick plays Mag. Has Funnick played Mag before? I mean, I'm sure he's played it before, but...
You associate the hero with Denley.
Yes. That's the first thing that I think. But the other thing, too, is they haven't seen the mid-hero from MVP Phoenix, so they're not entirely sure what the matchup's going to be. But maybe with Leshrac and Shadow Fiend banned out, they feel confident that no matter what is left in the pool to pick, like even if it's something like Alina, that Mag might still do okay. But it could just be off-lane Mag. Like, you don't know.
Oh, still, it's always fun to see Magnus. You know, we're going to see the plays come out, the RP potential certainly going to be there. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch out for. And it also, of course, leads us towards expecting potentially at least a melee core. I mean, a Slardar with Empower, that would be incredibly nice with the RP set up into a Slitherine Crush.
It's really strong, for sure. And it's a... If I was going to make a Wombo combo, I guess things like Void are... It's still good, but the problem is, again, they have a lot of melee, right? So Shaker can only fissure, really, outside of Sphere. So that combo doesn't really seem quite as good, but I think a Slardar could still work very well. Any melee really does. Like, they could even pick AM. Honestly, it's fine to pick AM against these heroes. Because they only really have one hard disabling hero, right? And that's Lion.
That's true, and we'll see what MVP decide to pick up here. Again, themselves, actually, down to the final 10 seconds here of reserve time. And they're going to... We're talking about the Spirit Breaker potential for Funnick, but indeed, it's going to be actually MVP that picked the Spirit Breaker up for themselves.
I like that pick. A lot of the time, picking Spirit Breaker into Shaker can be kind of annoying because you just get fissured from so far away. But there's also another way to look at it, and that if you make the enemy team disable you, that means there's no disables left for anyone else, right? So say, for instance, you charge Mag, and you force Mag to RP you solo, or you force a Shaker to, like, pop all of his stuns, right? That means that your other heroes are going to have a lot more room to function inside of those team fights. And it's not as if the rest of his team is also melee, which is what we saw earlier with the Bloodseeker Spirit Breaker, which is why it's not really as good. Because Shaker just stuns everything around him as long as he has Aftershock. And Mag, you don't want to have multiple melee because you could just get RP'd. So I like the fact that this is the first hero that really just wants to be in the fight. And Here's something that we actually have not had a chance to see very much in the Undying, and they are picking it into a gyrocopter, which I find interesting. But this pretty much means, like, it's Dendi Mag. Like, I'm, like, 99% sure, because I think they're just going to do Queen Undying offlane, and they're going to put Mag mid, and then they're going to do Shaker +1 safe lane. That's my guess.
Okay, the final ban, Phoenix taking away the Juggernaut here from Havorst. Obviously one of his heroes. Lina is going to be the final one from Navi. Phoenix, of course, themselves still looking towards what their mid hero is going to be. And as we're expecting the Mag in the mid lane, obviously there's potential for Navi to switch it up if they fancy to do so. So Phoenix, I mean, what is kind of left in the pool that we might be seeing them up for here?
All right, so they need potentially a mid.
Yeah.
Well, Lina's banned. Oh, what?
Okay, we're going to see Slot.
Wasn't expecting that, just being honest. But I can see how it's actually very good here.
I mean, if it is a Magnus mid, Slark should do all right. Or
Slark
still going to be a pretty nasty lane.
They could actually put the Slark safe lane, put Gyro mid.
Okay.
That's a much easier matchup. And that way, like, the Slark could still potentially lose the lane to Mag. Because Slark is one of those heroes that in order to harass, you pretty much have to hurt yourself in the process, right? Like, so you pound somebody, and then you Dark Pact. You're still taking damage. And Mag has double nuke. So you don't really want to, like, hurt yourself into a double nuke, because you could just end up dying. So I think it's much more likely that we're just going to be seeing the Gyro mid and Phantom Assassin here for Havost. It's going to be the choice.
Okay, and it is. It's going to be funny. Quap, Dendi Magnus, Art style on his then dying. Saneko Shaker over on the side of MVP Phoenix. So KP is going to be on the Gyro, so we can expect to see that in the safe lane. And QO,
it is.
their mid
It is
laner,
going to be mid Slark.
is going to be the Slark. So it is going to be putting the Slark up against Dendi on the Magnus. At least that's what we can imagine to see. March, of course.
I think I can honestly say I've never seen that matchup before in mid.
See
At least not in a pro game, right? I'm trying to think, because back when Slark was picked a lot, some people actually tried to put him mid, and they very quickly realized that the hero is just not good 1v1. Like, he's just not. Not until at least you have a couple of items and you have at least level 6, right? Because that's when you can start actually recovering once you start making trades. That's what makes Slark so good, is his ability to recover his health after he's already made a trade, come back and then fully push the hero out of the lane, or go for a kill. The problem in lane is that he just doesn't have the sustain. Like, he just can't stay. He doesn't have any spam, and his spam actually deals damage to himself.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, into the next series here of the day. MVP Phoenix up against the side of Navi, and to say the least, some exciting picks coming out from both sides. This is certainly going to be a game and a half that we're going to be having on our hands. So looks for the time being, Febby will be heading up to that off lane on the Bounty Hunter. And as we're saying, KP, of course, the position 1 here for Phoenix on the Gyro. And what looks to be a mid Slark being played by QO. Over on the side of Navi, pretty much the lanes that we're expecting. As you're saying, you reckon we're going to kind of see Art Style head towards the bottom lane and hang around with Funnick at the start and just kind of let Havorst pretty much, I'd imagine, have the lane to himself, because I wouldn't be surprised if we see Saneko kind of focus on the mid lane, especially if it's a Slark, to try and punish that decision.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that we're going to see QO mid, just because he might have an even harder time in bottom lane, because it's going to be Queen Undying. Like, you can't farm against that as Slark. There's no way. I just think that no matter where QO goes, his laning phase is probably not going to be optimal, but he'll probably get more out of mid, and if anything, he's going to get more experience there, which means that he'll be able to get 6 faster, he can start rotating, he can look to maybe get like his treads going and then try to team fight.
And the question is, can they go for a level 1 contest here, Funnick? And he's simply just going to blink himself away again, and it looks like the bounty is going to go the way of Dendi here, and that's going to give him a very quick bottle, of course. He's got 630 gold straight up, so that's going to help him massively here on the mid lane. Top lane, Havorst did manage to get himself the rune, but he is now being charged here by March. Febby chasing this one down as well, has an orb of Venom. Can they kill him here? Do they have the damage to deal with him? With the body blocks, maybe. The slow's going to connect here, but he's just going to blink himself back towards the creep wave here. And Havorst is able to keep himself safe. So yeah, mid lane QO. He's getting eyed up at the moment by Saneko, who is going to hang around for the time being on this Shaker.
That was a really nice reactionary play by Havorst. And also why, anybody who might not know, that's why you always save your skill points at level 1, just in case you need an ability like that to be able to get away. I mean, bottom lane is probably going to suffer for MVP, no doubt about that.
Oh, Dendi! He managed to force QO back there. And it's just going to be a bit of damage done, but you got to be careful where you stand as a melee hero farming against this Magnus.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this matchup is a little bit weird. Dendy, he's taking full advantage of it though, realizing that until QO hits like level 2 or 3, he's not going to have any points in an Essence Shift. And he's going to be forced to salve extremely early. In middle lane, Febby, he's looking for the Spider Courier, but
yeah,
he might get it on the way back.
Hey,
wait,
Mark, but Seneco's picked up the bottle. He's going to act as the courier there, essentially, for Dendy.
Oh, he sees it.
Yeah.
Oh, he popped out. All right, so they see him. They're not going to send it back.
Bottom lane, Nuts and Funnick just trading harass here. Back towards the mid lane, Seneco moving back in, trying to do what he can to make it as hard as possible for QO to find the farm. 4 for 4 at the moment on Dendy compared to the 1 for 2 on QO, so already just a minute and a half in, it is apparent that this Slark is suffering.
I think, again, it's not getting the farm is a little bit of a nuisance for him, but he'll be able to come back just because Slark's fighting capability skyrockets once he hits like level 7 or 8. You know, you get that Shadow Dance going, and then you have a couple more points in a Dark Pact. You can start farming with your Aquila and your Treads. You can choose to fight if you want to. And against heroes like Phantom Assassin, during the mid-game, you actually do pretty well because your damage is mostly magical, and then your Essence Shift stacks start to get a little bit out of control, and you can kind of snowball from there. So I'm not sure if MVP are hoping that he even like free farms. It's more just like, oh, courier down. Febby's patience pays off.
It did indeed, but fortunately for Dendy, he wasn't bottling back the or crowing back the bottle at the time. So, and was able to secure himself the top ring thanks to Seneco guarding the bounty. So he's going to be fine in lane still. 3 bottle charges to go. Just his boots. He's going to be missing for 2 minutes. So not the worst in the world there to lose the current. That of course did mean Febby was contributing a lot of time there. Still, he's only just hit a bit of XP himself 3 minutes into the game. He's going to go for a bit of a harass out onto Funnick, but Funnick with the blink available should be fine. Funnick turning this one around, in fact, with art style. Seeing if they can find Febby, and it looks like this is going to be potentially your first blood.
Nice.
Oh! KP with the deny. Very nice. No first blood for you, Navi.
I'm telling you, man, this guy carries. Even when he's killing his own team, he's still carrying. He's probably my favorite player to watch on MVP. And I could be a little bit biased because I'm a position 1 player too. So maybe I just like people who farm a lot. But yeah, he's definitely played a very, very good couple of games so far here at TI. And I'm looking at the things right now, and it's, you know, it's not too lopsided in mid. QO is still farming. He's got his bottle going. It's not really hugely lopsided one way or another, and I think in that sense, you could probably argue that QO is doing very well, and that he's getting enough farm out of his lane to sustain, and no one's really pressuring him anymore either. Because trying to pressure a Slark, like stopping him from farming is one thing, but you're not really going to be able to kill him, because he'll always be able to pounce away from like a fissure block or something like that. So he's a melee hero who transitions into a carry, who's also hard to gank mid, and he's up against a hero that is another melee, which means that he's going to do much better against that than he would something like Queen, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's going to be that point, of course, where QO hits 6, and suddenly you're going to need quite a bit to kind of catch him out and be able to find the kill on the Slark. Dendy getting himself another bounty rune, certainly helping him on his route to that Blink Dagger, potentially. Sitting on 700 gold now on top of the brown boots. And art style getting taken down here. Nuts with a kill. Now they're going to look for Funnick here. Funnick, he is going to have Blink in 10 seconds, but that might be 10 seconds too long as KP chases one down. Will have another Rocket Barrage. He's not quite got the mana. Yes, he does. With the stick charges, Funnick in a lot of trouble. Trying to duke it out. It doesn't matter. Nuts with the stun, enabling the fact that there's no escape for that Quap. Double kill for the Lion. Very nice play for Phoenix down the bottom lane.
I mean, he just bought full Tranquil Boots. Oh, that fissure. A very rare misplay there. In top lane as well. Havos getting dove under the tower.
They're going for Havos, trying to look for the Jukes here, trying to keep himself alive. Oh! He finds one more.
No way! Oh my!
Havos!
I'm reminded of TI3 right now when his Alchemist basically juked into the trees and just got like kill after kill when he was 1v3. How? Alright. Let the 4s fly. That's all I'm saying.
That was not the play there for MVP Phoenix. Giving away 2 kills to Havorst. He's going to be very happy with that. And you've got to remember as well, this is a PA that is top of the CS board. You look at the CS board at the moment, the top 3 heroes all on the side of Navi.
It's kind of crazy that he's farming so well in the situation. Like, it's Spirit Breaker, I guess, 1v1 up against PA, so...
Might be in a bit of trouble here. They've got the control in. It looks like he certainly is with the Hex as well. More than enough time to allow KP to get that Rocket Barrage damage in. So, nonetheless, even though Havorst finding the kills in the top lane, at the same time, KP has been involved in 3 kills so far, just 5.5 minutes into the game.
I'm wondering if MVP's mid-game timing is going to be strong enough. Like, they're basically waiting for QO, I guess, to start moving around. Like, he's the main hero that they're really trying to ensure to get something done. That sentry is just out of range. Jeez. That is painful, actually. He knows there's a ward there, and he actually thinks it's high ground because the sentry isn't seeing the ward on low ground, but I think the sentry that you would use to do where that sees it anyway. Charge coming in here.
Indeed onto Funnick. Dendy has got an RP available. Yeah, March is going to cancel this one. Not going to go any further. Seneko was around in the neighborhood as well on his shaker. And oh, here we go. That's going to be the RP used here, bringing Kyo back.
That
And
was
they
nice.
will be able to bring him down before he can get the dance off.
That was a very, very well-coordinated gank there. And Dendy even managed to turn before the RP. Like, you saw the fissure, he just immediately RPs. He overlaps a bit, but the hero stun duration is still plenty of time to be able to secure that. So keeping Kuo down, it's going to be really nice for them. Dendy's 500 gold right now, so 6.5 minutes in with Arcanes already, and Bottle, he's farming very well. And Havois is just like free farm city. And he got 2 solo kills. He's level 7 right now.
He's certainly having a grand old time. At the same time, Spirit Breaker March, now hitting level 6, has got that Nether Strike available if he wants to look for a bit of action. But I mean, at the moment, Febby, he's still only just sitting at level 2, hanging around this mid lane. He knows it's safe to go with the sentry out. But Dendy at this point, a little bit too hard to take down, halfway through level 7, coming up to 900 HP on the man. Not going to be the easiest pick off, and Seneko walking into Nuts. Nuts will simply throw out the stun. There's going to be a charge coming in from Spirit Breaker. And here we go with the cooldown as well. Massive from KP. They bring down Funnick. They're going to be able to get Art Style as well. Dendy coming in with a haste rune, maybe seeing if you can try and find Nuts. Seneko's just on the run away from this line. Kyo coming in with a wrap round. Kyo will be able to find that kill and back to the lane. Anything else going on? Doesn't look like it will be for the time being, as Dendy just uses the haste to get himself out. But 3 kills there going the way of MVP Phoenix. Looking very, very nice for the Radiant.
It was a really nice combo. As soon as the call down was cast, it's like KP knew exactly when the charge was going to be coming through. So the stun actually ensured that they both got hit by both missiles of the call down, which is very uncommon. Like, most of the time you land 1, but landing 2 is not really so easy. And I think that as long as they can keep doing things like that, Febby, once he hits level 6, you're going to start having that track gold come into play. And MVP are still very, very much in this early game.
They really are bottom lane by this rune. Dendy, finding March. That's going to be it for the time being. Ooh, and Funnick just blinking away just in time. And towards the top lane, actually, we're going to see QO start to make a movement. He has hit level 7, so he has got that potential to dive these towers. Just Artstyle and Unforced at the moment. They're going to look towards Artstyle. Here we go, Feb with the start. That pounce. Very nice done over the tree line. Artstyle getting low, but with the decay, the Soul Rip, in fact, sorry, keeping himself alive. Now the Fisher trapping up Kyo, but he's got the dance available. He's on the retreat. There's going to be a Spirit Breaker coming in to try and help Kyo, and Kyo's just trying to turn and fight here. He's trying to steal the essences away, but Havorst and Seneko are on his case. Moving forward, Kyo getting low. He's going to be able to pull up and get himself out. Now rotation for KP coming up to the top lane. Oh, there's the Nether Strike onto Havorst. They're going to lose Seneko. They're going to lose Artstyle, and now they may just lose Havorst. Oh! March, he wants this. He's got a charge in a second. He's just going to hit it here with the right click. Simply TP's out from underneath the tower. But MVP Phoenix, they're on top of these movements. And sending the Gyro in there was exactly the play. 3 kills, 5 assists on this guy. He's been involved in 8 of the 9 kills so far, just 9 minutes into the game.
Never underestimate a Gyro. I mean, his early game damage output is insane. It just makes sense. Like, every single time you have a hero who has that kind of damage output, you want to make sure that he's at engagements, especially ones that really affect your early game, like making sure your bounty hunter hits level 6 at a decent timing. So Febby now, like, he's almost halfway to level 5, and he's had a very slow start, but this is very common for bounty hunters because they spend so much time moving around. So if you're contributing to fights and you're getting extra experience for that bounty, you're putting yourself closer to track, you're putting yourself closer to having maximum viability for your team fights, because now the Lion has been left alone in safe lane to be able to farm. He's going to be hitting level 6 soon. And he's not even really that far behind Funnick, who...
He might go for the... He's got the ultimate here.
Nah, it's too risky.
Top lane, though. They want to go for MVP finish with the charge onto Artstyle and the cooldown as well. KP now with another kill under his belt. And this Gyrocopter at the moment, pretty much single at just destroying Navi.
Well, what can I say, man? I'm a little bit of a KP fanboy after watching MVP play multiple series. I really think that he's extremely talented, and he understands the hero. It's not about understanding the role every single game. It's about understanding how the hero functions. And I feel like after watching him having played like 2 distinctly different styles, like playing Naga Siren and then playing Gyrocopter, he has a very firm understanding on the carry heroes of this patch and how each one of them are meant to be played. And that's always something that's fun to watch.
Of course, now here we go with the Empower, clearing out this creep wave. Febby's going to stick around, take away a bit of the XP for himself. Dendy coming in to help this one out. He's not going to want to reveal himself here. Well, March and KP are in the neighborhood. Do they want to try and go for some kind of action onto Denzi? I mean, it'd be a good time. Denzi's about 100 gold away from the Blink Dagger. Who's going to make the first jump? Kind of just walking around each other. Here's KP now with the call up by the Fisher. Dendy actually screwing for Dendy, getting low, but there we go.
Oh, what an RP!
The RP cancelling March's ability to get the Nether Strike off. Now Dendy and Funny, they're trying to find it. March, he will find the Nether Strike in the bash. They bring down Dendy. March now on the retreat. Funny chasing this one down. Should be able to find it. Looking for the deny to the neutrals. Is it going to happen there? We'll be able to burst him down. Funny with a double kill. 11-7, but 3 for 1 in that trade. The question, did he buy the Blink Dagger before he died? Yes, he did. Yeah. He was able to purchase the Blink, so big plays there coming out from the side of Navi, bringing this one back round.
Yeah, I think Dendy, he played it a little bit greedy. Like, as soon as he hit the RP, he actually goes back to Empower on Funnick instead of just staying in Fog. So normally you would just run straight to the left and down, because that way the Spirit Breaker would never be able to see you to channel the ulti in the first place. But he goes back to try to ensure that Funnick does more damage and maybe secures the kill. But as you said, he did buy the Blink, so it doesn't end up being too big of a deal that he ends up trading his own life, because it ends up being a 2 for 1, which is fine. But also March, he got his Midas off, I believe, before he died too, yeah.
Oh, nuts. So. He's a little bit all on his own here. There's 4 heroes on the side of Navi moving into him. I don't think there's anywhere for this line to run. There certainly isn't. Magnus. Mr. Dendy will be able to get himself that one. More money in the bank here.
He circles the map and says, yep, they're right here. Just found them. Pretty much all of them, actually. That's pretty funny. Maybe he was just trying to get a ward down or something like that.
Not worth noting. So, oh, Denzi looking for the skewer, doesn't find it. Cure with the simple sidestep to the left juke. And, well, there we go with the charge. March. He's going to hold himself back from that one. A little bit deep for this Space Cow. And worth noting, of course, Kyoa, he's running the Midas this game. So he's ready to try and get his farm game on.
Midas Lark is really good. One of the carry heroes I think that benefits most from it. Mainly because Shadow Dance and how it scales. So the movement speed bonus is nice, obviously you get 5%, but the regen is actually the thing that matters even more. Because going from level 1 Shadow Dance to 2 pretty much doubles the amount of regen that you're going to get while you're inside a fog, or at least the enemy team can't see you. So it makes you heal that much faster, which it doesn't seem like a huge deal, but in those situations where you're juking, you get that bonus HP going, and you can just turn a fight based on regenerating a little bit more health and being able to live through those engagements.
I mean, worth noting as well, March, you know, he's been running a Midas, and he's sitting very high up this net worth board. 5k on your Spirit Breaker, level 10 as well. So
like everyone's farming this game.
This is certainly a bit of a farm fest.
It's like 3 heroes from each team are getting a lot of farm, and then 3 heroes from each team, or 2 heroes from each team are getting like no farm. So 6 out of 10 heroes would farm, basically.
Pretty much at the moment, and of course the stacks being created here for Havors to clean up with the help of the Empower when he needs to at the Ancients. And Havors is actually going to find himself Febby here. There is, in fact, this sentry ward down. It doesn't matter. Febby's just able to get himself out of range. So Havors not going to be able to do anything else about that matter.
Just kind of waiting around for Navi to decide if they want to try to team fight. I think in the late game, once Slark gets MKB and gets some stat items, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to deal with him. It seems very hard for that team to kill Slark. If he's ready for the initiation, he gets a good Dark Pact into a Shadow Dance, there's not really a whole lot they can do. The one good thing that they have on their team is, like, Queen, Shaker, and Magnus all have a lot of AoE potential. So sometimes you pop Shadow Dance against compositions and they can't do much, and QO...
There we go with the skew and the RP. They want that man dead, and they'll certainly get it there.
That was what I like to call the everything. The Blink, Skewer, Fissure into the Echo Slam and RP, just to say, you know what? You're going to die. We will kill you. Doesn't matter if we have to use everything.
And, you know, I mean, at this point, you want to try and punish that Slark as much as possible because, of course, with that Midas, he is starting to slowly climb his way back up that net worth. Still, he's a good kind of 1.5k behind the top. Of Worst at the moment on the PA, working towards that BKB. Now on top of the helm, has the Ogre Club. Coming up to about 800, halfway towards the Mithril on his way to that Black King Barn. I mean, once he's got that BKB, he's going to be pretty damn scary coming into these fights.
Yeah, I think Havos, his item progression and the timing that he's going to hit should be very good. And plus, they're going to have Empower on top of that. So we've seen Arise, when he used to play on a team, they used to play heroes like this, like Phantom Assassin with Magnus, or Void with Magnus, or AM with Magnus. And it just happens that being able to go straight BKB is really nice because you just have that bonus damage output in mid Gonna see a charge.
He's going for Funny. There's the back of Seneko. Seneko able to get off those fishes to cancel. And there's Dragon March just turns towards him, but they chance on him. But Nuts is there as well this time. Seneko will pay with his life for force, wanting to fight into this one. They're going in. They have got the tombstone down. And oh, massive ult there from Funny, catching 3. Now looking for KP. KP getting low. Will be able to back himself out. Homing missile holding Artstyle in place. Looks like that'll be it. No, they want to go forward for more. Denny and Funny chasing down KP. They'll bring down the gyrocopter. Double kill here for Funny on the Queen of Pain. Kyo still hiding on the high ground here. When he's going Havorce, trying to chase down Febby, but Febby will be able to get himself out here with the invis. Oh, that's a crit and a half there. Kyo pounces himself away. The fight recap, of course, 2-for-1 trade there, but they do kill this gyrocopter for the second time this game. But this is a gyro that they need to be killing because he's certainly getting slightly out of control.
The more they can kill him before he gets to BKB, the better off I think that Navi are gonna be. So right now, Havos, he still hasn't died in quite a while. Like he's 2-1-3 right now. He's still farming very well. Highest net worth. When he gets to BKB, that's when Navi are going to start trying to pressure, I feel. Because the longer you let Slark farm, in the ultra late game again, like this is pretty far in the future, like 30+ minutes, he will eventually start to outscale the PA just because you won't be able to really focus him down fast enough. And he's too elusive because you can remove the debuff of Stifling Dagger by just spamming Dark Pact. So you, like normally PA is very good at chasing, but Slark is very slippery. Like being able to chase him down is going to be tough. So I think that Navi are still a little bit of emphasis on him, middle lane.
Indeed, Dendy gets the blink skewer. Now with the RP as well.
What the heck?
Hell was that? Well, he might just get away with his life anyway. No, and he might be able to turn this one around. No, there we go. The shockwave finishes off Nuts. KP trying to look to force Denny back, but it's actually going to be KP that backs off with the tombstone drop. He's maybe going to see if he can try and take this one down moving forward. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate there for the line. A little bit of a misplay.
Yeah. I think what happened was he queued up a stun, and then he got stunned and didn't hit, like, hold position or stop, right? Because if you get stunned when you already used an ability and you don't cancel the ability itself, you actually cast it as soon as the stun wears off. So maybe he just had the stun cast from a while ago and it just ends up flying out like that because he didn't hit S or something like that. But hard to say. A little bit of an awkward moment, but right now, MVP, they haven't lost a tower. So they're still doing A-okay. Like when you have a bounty hunter, level 7, your Slark is still farming, your Gyro is still farming, you got your track, you can go take team fights if you want to, and you haven't lost any buildings. I think you're actually in pretty decent shape.
Indeed, QA able to snag himself an Invis rune here. And sitting on 1,600 gold as well. I mean, what does QA go for now? Does he go for that Shadowblade build, or does he himself go straight for the BKB?
I think if you're going to keep farming, Shadowblade is good. I don't know if he necessarily needs BKB right now, because he bought Midas, and I don't think that... Like, BKB Midas is fine, but that's only if you really think that you have to fight him.
Charging in. March going to go in with the Nether Strike as well. Dandy, is he going to have any hope of getting out this one? No, the Magnus will fall. Tombstone has been dropped by Navi. Phoenix around here as well does have an ultimate available. Backup coming in from Seneko. He's got that Echo Slam. No blink yet, of course. Seneko having a bit of a slower game than he did previously. And March will simply charge away. Looks like everyone just trying to get themselves out of this one. MVP not happy sticking around. And March going to TP himself out. Funnick not going to be able to do anything about that one. So it is just simply Navi losing the Magnus there. Bit of space created though. QO here on this bottom lane. Applying a little bit of pressure. Arstyle coming in, but QO might just go for this one. He has got the ultimate available, and he's got a blink. He decided to go for the blink, and that blink dagger might just secure him this kill. Going for Artstyle here. One more will do it. There we go. Finds the kill. Now pops the ultimate. He's on the retreat. Havorst has turned up to the party. But QA should be able to duke this one out. At the same time, bit of a fight going on the top lane where we saw, well, we didn't see Earthshaker walking into the ground there. Lost his life to a lion. Funnick was able to find the revenge. And Funnick just blinking away there as March was trying to come in for a little bit more action.
You know, speaking of action, every single game today has just been fighting everywhere. Both these teams, like neither one of them wants to give an inch. They just want to keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. Don't give any control away. Keep your towers alive as long as you can. I really want to be at TI and casting when these are the types of games that we get to watch.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fabulous. We haven't had a single game that I don't think you could describe in any way, shape, or form as boring.
Every single game has been just like everyone wants to battle. It's like no one wants to back down. There's a ton on the line for every single team, right?
So. QA, he's got himself, well, he's going to get himself out of it. He has got a double damage here and the bottle folded up, but there's going to be a horse going up to the high ground. He really wants to go for this one. Dendi has got the RP available, but Akio going straight for Dendi. Dendi just able to get himself out of the pass. Can they burst him down? Yes, they can. They bring down the slot before he's able to get off the ultimate. And now MVP want to be very careful about taking this fight. Funnick blinking forward with the ultimate does manage to take down the Bounty Hunter. 2 heroes to fall, and off the back of that, Navi will look to try and go for Roshan.
And with the Dominator and 3 levels into Phantom Assassin's Blur, you should be able to kill this pretty easily. I don't think Havos is really even going to take damage.
They've got the pack leader Zora as well here for bonus damage. So, and with 2 heroes down, it's going to be hard for... I mean, KP's got to be KP. There's going to be... They want to do it. They want to try and contest this. Here we go. Buyback from Slug. Slug's going to be on his way in. KP in the middle of it all. Here we go with the BKP. What can he achieve here? No luck because Vor's turning around with Zombie with the crits. The son of Sneko. Sneko will fall now. Qo focusing his attention towards Vor's trying to get himself out. Navi, they've already lost 3. Qo chasing this one down here. Vor's trying to juke out the pounds, but it doesn't matter because there's a charge coming in from March. There we go. Vor's will go down as well. It's a triple kill for KP. And now Funnick, he might just go down as well here. On the high ground, will be able to blink himself away, but it's now Qo with the blink forward. The pounce, the right clicks. They'll get Funnick as well. It's a full team wipe as Navi hit the deck, and MVP now turn their attention towards the Roshan. Oh, what a minute of play there. The from MVP, from KP, absolutely on point.
It's a fight where, again, Shaker doesn't get Echo off, and then you have RP. The charge actually hit Dendi when he was mid-RP animation. Like, he tried to go in and stop March with a charge at the same time.
They want to fight it, but they're fighting into, a Roshan that's already dead. There's Sneko with the slam. Qo, he might go down, and that is a dieback if he goes down. No, he's able to live, gets himself up to the high ground. KP, what the hell is he doing? He's just killing people. There's your Aegis being popped on the high ground. Funnick trying to get himself out. March will TP away. What is quite going on here? It's, I've got to say, this is Navi slowly losing what they had initially. I mean, if we have a look at the graph, it's going to start to show, yeah, it was pretty much only a slight advantage for MVP, but now it's a massive one. Going up to 7.5, it's going to be even more after those kills tick in. XP-wise, gold-wise, it's pretty much the same damn story. MVP Phoenix, they're doing it, and Navi, they're struggling.
How do you go in on that 3v5 and win? Like, they had Echo and RP, and they fought 3v5 and they won. I don't understand. They should not be able to do that and get away with it. And for some reason, MVP, like that charge from March, actually completely won them the fight. Like stopping Dendi from getting an ult off and stopping Sneko from being able to echo. How do you do that? Like, how do you actually... Alright, either way. They do lose the Aegis and the Slark pretty much immediately, but they get 2 kills for it. So I think trading 2 kills for an Aegis, MVP are going to be fine with, considering how well they did in the previous engagement. So it's basically like a 7-hero exchange. They kill 7 heroes for Roshan and losing the Aegis, and I think that's more than okay. And I think the biggest problem with this game so far is that Sneko, he doesn't have his Blink Dagger timing that we saw previously. Like before, he had Tranquil, Soul Ring, and Blink at like 15 minutes or something like that.
Hey, it's not been Seneco's game this one. A totally different Shaker that we're seeing.
Right now, he's sitting on Arcanes, and he's not even close to Blink. Like, he needs 2,100 gold, give or take. I'm kind of concerned right now for Navi because it's like, we talked about the timing of Qo and trying to end the game before he gets too many items. If his item progression continues at this rate and being allowed to have Midas and Navi not really pressuring anything, I mean, they haven't lost a tower yet. It's 23 minutes in and Navi haven't even been able to take a tier 1 anywhere.
It is indeed quite something. MVP Phoenix giving the side of Navi the fight of their life here. And he's got the RP, and here we go. Go straight forward. He's only going to find Febby with this one here. We'll bring back the Bounty Hunter. They'll take him down. And RP indeed committed for that one. But I think at this point, it's kind of any pickoff that you can find, you take it.
Yeah, you do. You don't risk. You always go for the kills now. They realize that they're far behind, and killing the Bounty Hunter is actually still a fairly big deal. A lot of position 4 or 5 heroes don't really count for much when you're throwing an ulti at them, but if it's Bounty Hunter and it prevents the enemy team from gathering information by having track out and stops them from fighting you, potentially giving away track gold, I think it's more than acceptable to drop an RP on that.
Well, here we go. Dandy with the Blink Skewer finds Nuts. This is another pickoff that is going to be successful as the line gets taken down. March now with the charge. Where is the Slug? He's coming in from the back. There we go. Going forward here. And KP moving in as well. March with his BKB ready to force him down. Qo focusing down Sneko. Sneko with the Echo Slam. Trying to buy himself some time. And oh, it doesn't matter. Qo finds himself the kill. Funnick now with the ultimate. Bringing KP low there with the pure damage. Now Artstyle being charged by March. March is going to be able to find himself the kill in that respect. And they're looking for Funnick as well. Funnick's got a blink in a second. Will be able to just get it off. March's got a charge though in 4 seconds.
I think he goes on
I think he goes for this. 2 heroes on the side of Navi towards mid. Havorce just cleaning out the waves. Nah, he's not going to go for it. Funnick a little bit too close to base. They might lose Febby here, though. Dendy and Avorst. Well, there we go. Dendy with the skewer. They don't have any detection, and Febby should be able to get himself away from this and back to safety. But, damn, I keep missing the fight recast. But nonetheless, I'm pretty sure we would have seen it again. More of an increase here for Phoenix, as they've been finding some fantastic fights here.
I'm really impressed with MVP this game. Like, everyone's actually playing very well. Febby, he's been in the fights, getting the tracks off. He's doing his job. Like, March, in comparison to what he did earlier on Spirit Breaker, where he had that game where he went 1-9, this is like a totally different MVP and a totally different March in terms of what he's able to accomplish in this game in mid.
Again, but as you were talking about, he just can't do anything about the Slark on his own. Slark, Dendy with the RP there, was hoping to drag QO back into it. But Navi just seems to be on a totally different form to what we saw from them in that last game against Cloud9.
Is it actually Navi playing that badly, though, or is it MVP playing better than what we saw earlier? Because I would say that middle lane, Dendy has actually been playing fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, his farm was impressive, yeah.
That was the first time where we've actually seen him make a mistake.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You miss an RP from time to time. Like, it happens. Especially when you're going up against a hero like Slark, who has Blink Dagger, and you want to try to throw it, like, down straight away, just so you can lock him down. I mean, you know, it's happened to everyone. But I don't think that Navi are actually playing super bad. I think that MVP are just very coordinated in their fights.
And well, okay, but some iron pickups coming out. Here's Funnick. Is able to now finish off the Aghanim Scepter. And, of course, they have got that wombo combo potential. If they do find the RP, you know, they've got the Echo Slam follow-up as well here from Seneko. They've still got the potential to take these fights, but they just need to be able to ensure that they can bring down the Slark before he starts to run havoc, before he starts getting those Essence Shift stacks up. Febby has scouted out Funnick here. As the rest of MVP Phoenix move in, there's going to be a charge. They're going to try and go for this one. Artstyle and Havorst are about in the neighborhood. March, is he going to commit for this one? No. Will cancel it. Holds himself back, and Havorst is actually going forward here onto the Bounty Hunter. And Navi just holding their ground here by the Tier 2. MVP Phoenix not wanting to stick around in this lane and going to look elsewhere for the aggression.
MVP for the moment. They definitely maintain the map control. Going to see another charge mid. He has BKB. Okay, he's going to cancel. But one thing we should always keep in mind is even though right now it's definitely favoring MVP, you can never count out a team with a PA and a Magnus. Like one good RP and a crit or two, and you're looking at a completely one team fight from Navi. Like that's all they need is just finding that opening.
They're going to try for it. I mean, they've got the RP, they've got the Echo Slam. If they can find an initiation here, then it's almost certainly going to be killed. It's just nuts at the moment on this bottom lane, hiding in the tree line. So if anything, they should be able to find the push and claim this Tier 1. And it looks like, unless Nuts reveals himself, which he's not going to be doing anytime soon, it will just be the tower they'll find him. And Artstyle coming into the tree line, nah, Nuts just blinks himself south, knows that they're in the neighborhood, and doesn't want a part of it at all. Charge is coming in from March, but with the tower down, there's going to be nowhere they can join to, and now it's actually going to be the middle tower. It's going to be the focus of the attention from MVP Phoenix moving in onto this one. The question is, can Navi do anything to stop this? Or at this point, do they just hold back and look to defend the base?
I think high ground defense is probably the safest choice, but it depends. If Navi don't want to give up a tower, then they can definitely fight. They just need to find the opening for an RP. That's going to be the game changer. A lot of it right now is on the Shaker and on the Magnus. More so Dendy, because Seneko doesn't actually have his Blink Dagger yet. But once the Echo comes out with Blink, then we could potentially see Navi have two really big ways of turning an engagement.
Top Tier 2, looking pretty low. Navi, they're reacting to it, making the move towards this top lane. But MVP, they are all there, and they are all waiting. It's going to be QO, linking forward, just forcing Artstyle and Dendy back, creating the space for KP here to finish off the tower. Funnick will be able to find the deny. And it's obviously worth noting, QO has got that Skadi as well. He's looking pretty terrifying on this slug now, 29 minutes in.
He's getting to that threshold where he's too tanky to kill in stuns. That's the thing that starts to get really scary. So with Echo on RP, you probably could still kill him with this amount of HP.
Oh, he's going to go for a Vorst. Yeah. Vorst just goes up to the high ground with a blink. And Cure will simply take the Ancients. Now, can they try and fight here, Navi?
I don't know, man. This is pretty scary. They see March bottom, probably, but because he can charge, it's too risky, I think, to take an engagement at this point. They probably just want to wait out the Shaker Blink Dagger. Makes the most sense. Like, Seneko is sitting in a solo lane right now, just hitting some creeps, so no reason to really force it. Roshan's not going to be up for another, what, two or so odd minutes? Maybe 3. And then once that happens, we're most likely to see Navi try to go for something.
That's actually making a movement here into the jungle, but he is actually underneath a sentry. Lucky for him, though, the sentry is about to expire. They've got the dust here on the shell. Oh, they're not even going to need it. Vorst with the crits to kill him in time before the sentry expires. And that's a bit more gold in the bank there for Vorst, who is still notably doing very well in terms of farm. Top of the board here for Navi, but still just under 2k below the Slark. And there's about 2.5k difference between himself and the gyrocopter.
For now, it's just a waiting game. It's Navi waiting to get their core items. Okay, Seneko has Blink.
Okay.
So with that up, Navi can definitely contest now. The scary part is Gyro has BKB. Like, we've been talking a lot about QO.
If they can
get him?
He got the Dark Pack cast off, and he should be able to get this one out. He's going to just turn and pounce onto Seneko, and now he's going to blink away, and now Tiger, oh, here we go, trying to control him here. They're bringing him down, and they do find the kill. They're able to bring down Slark. That is the kill that they needed. Now Funnick blinking forward with the dagger slow onto Febby. I don't know if they can find anything more here, Navi, but I think they'll be very happy with that. They lose Seneko, but they kill QO.
Yeah, that's what they have to do, though. They have to drop everything on him. There's no way they can let him walk around and, like, okay, well, we have to wait for a better RP. It's no, you need to RP and echo him.
They didn't
if
need
you want
the
to
RP
kill
in
him.
that one at the end.
Yeah, but I'm saying most of the time,
But
it's
yeah,
like
it's worth it. If
the mentality that you should have going into the fight is not, I need to land like
oh,
a...
Dandy.
No. Okay, that's number 2.
He tries for it. It was ambitious. It would have been very flashy if he got it. And that's what we want. We want to see Magnus's try for the flashy plays, because when you get it, you get it.
Yeah, it feels really nice to land those like 4-staff blink RPs, or you know, you go in and you just RP and then you refresh and you skewer somebody else in after blinking and then you RP again, like the Arise plays. Like everybody wants to be that guy, right? So I understand going for the high risk, high reward in the situation. The nice thing for Navi is that Roshan's going to be spawning pretty soon. I think MVP will most likely be in position to defend though. But they have Echo up in a minute. And then 10 seconds after that, they will also have RP. So I assume by the time this is available, both teams will have pretty much everything for a team fight. And this definitely has to be the point of contention. Like, Roshan pretty much breaks the game, I feel, for either team at this point.
It's certainly going to be big. Vorst, 3.4k gold coming up on top of the Skull Basher.
I think he goes Abyssal.
On the BS. I think he's got to. They just need every kind of form of control to keep tabs on this Slark. And QO, how's he doing? Well, 2.1k gold on top of the Scardian. Well, March with the charge. Smoked up as well. Are they going to look to try and fight off the back of this? No, it's going to be cancelled this time. Still just waiting for that opportune moment to jump. And worth noting, the next fight, March has now picked up the completed Assault Cuirass. And Roshan, it's indeed going to be pinged out. They're going to try and go for it. They are still smoked up. And the question is, Navi, are they just going to stay in the base? Do they suspect that they are doing Roshan? Are they going to try and contest it?
They know now. They have Echo,
to be quick.
But RP's still down for 10 seconds.
I think they can buy themselves the time potentially to do it. Roshan's now at 50% of health.
It's dying too fast, I think.
Oh, Dandy. Oh, we might find Febby. No, Febby able to walk this one off with a completed Guardian Grease. Ah, there we go. Funnick will finish him off with the ultimate. They've already lost Seneko here. Artstar trying to chase it down. Denny with the haste room, but he gets stunned up. Funnick now blinking forward, but he gets hexed. Oh, the crits from Vorst. That will be able to find themselves the kill onto Nuts here on the line. KP moving forward, wants to try and find Denny and Artstar now. BKB popped by Vorst. He's finding the bashes as well. Going for KP. KP getting low, but March with a Never Strike Bash holding Vorst in place. Vorst trying to chase down KP, and there we go. We'll get it there with the help of Funnick. They find the kill onto KP, and now there's your RP onto March. Vorst going forward as well with the blink. Funnick's there as well. Kyo trying to turn us the fight. Kyo will be able to find the kill. Denny actually pops the BKB there before he dies. Unfortunately, Vorst and Funnick, they want to fight Kyo. Can Vorst find the bashes? Well, he can't when he can't see him. Kyo with the hits, with the essence shift, doing what he can, blinking forward. Wants to try and clear this one up. Looks for Funnick. Funnick getting low. Should be able to find it. No, Funnick blinks. Denies himself to Roshan. And Vorst with the bashes gets himself an ultra kill. Vorst is able to clean up at the end of what an incredible fight between the two sides. And let's have a look at the fight recap. It is Navi coming out on top, thanks to the fact that they were able to take down both KP and QO and March, the three heroes that really do matter at this point.
And don't forget poor Nuts, who just got obliterated by Vorst. Like, he just blinked and immediately crit him, and he just turned into vapor. Like, I think it was 1100 damage or something like that he got hit for. And now with the Abyssal Blade completed, Vorst can pick and choose his engagements, right? Like, he can pop the BKB preemptively, go in, Abyssal Blade, onto the Slark, or potentially even onto like a support like Lion, for example, just to kill him before he's able to do anything. And because of the fact that Slark doesn't have MKB yet, QO doesn't have an answer for the PA.
No.
Like, this is the point in the game where the PA is pretty much the strongest, because it's prior to BKBs coming out on either of the hard carries. of the enemy team. But sooner or later, MVP, like KP will pick up his MKB first. He's already got Demon Edge available. And then you're going to be looking to QO to get the same.
I mean, I don't think MVP can do anything about this, can they? They're
No,
charging
they can't.
in, but Roshan's getting low. Denty's in fact going to have
Actually,
RP again in 10 seconds. He's going to have RP.
Yeah, he's going to have BKB as well. This is very dangerous. Okay, they stopped the charge. They realized that it may have been a little bit too risky.
I mean, that one fight as well, it is starting to bring this game back round for Navi. 14k lead turning into an 8k lead, and XP-wise, it's pretty much the same old. So Navi going to be a lot happier now in this position. Now smoked up with the Aegis ready to go. Can they find something else? They've got all the ultimates available here. Mid lane, Febby chilling out at the moment. Seneko moving forward here. And they're actually going to turn their attention towards, well, Nuts. But Nuts is able to blink himself away. Febby getting caught out here with the damage coming from Avorse. Funnick actually finding himself the kill. They'll get themselves a tier 1 as well. And now the question is, does Navi just keep pushing? Is there any point in them stopping? Are they ready to try and go maybe even to the high ground?
Yeah, I think they go tier 2. They probably realize how strong Havos is right now in comparison to the enemy carries. I don't think the MKB has been revealed on the gyrocopter, but it will be soon. And then they might respect the high ground a little bit, but this tower is free. And in reality, they could probably just go bottom too. Or maybe they just go high ground.
Oh my
God,
that's done just in time. It doesn't matter if he gets in. The Hex will be able to go out onto Havors. So stops him from killing him, but it doesn't matter. Undying able to find the final touch there with the Soul Rip. And that's your line down for this defense. Well, the Bounty Hunter's going to be back in 5 seconds. Fortification now out from the side. And,
can they even stop this?
With the wraparound, he wants to try this fight. Going for Seneko here. There's going to be the cooldown as well. KP is not... now he moves in, but the Abyssal Land of QO will be dark patted off. QO getting low. QO able to keep himself alive. March now with another strike onto X-Force. Looking for the bashes, but Avorse with the bashes himself is able to stay... well, not alive. He's going to go down here with this Age. Is he ready for round 2? Is he going to get himself out? He is indeed. Blinks away to Funnick. Backs himself out. They've already lost Art Style and they've lost Seneko. March charging forward. He does not want this fight to be over. QO moving in. QO ready to go, ready to jump. Who's he focusing? He's focusing Dendy. Dendy pots the BKB, trying to get himself out of this one. That's actually going to be the main chase, and there, blinking forward again. The skewer is not going to save you. Dendy trying to blink out. Is the damage enough? Oh, no, it's not. Dendy just able to get himself away from this one. KP with a missile chasing down Havors. Febby's there as well with a backup. March is charging in, whilst at the same time, Kyo wrapping round. Kyo's going to find Funnick. In fact, Funnick's not going to be able to do anything in this fight. Leaves Havors. He's hexed up. He's stunned up. Havors getting low. Havors is going to fall. Killing spree here for the gyrocopter. Another kill under KP's belt. And MVP Phoenix saying, well, you may take a very nice fight around that Roche pit and take the Roshan, but this game is well and truly not over, and we're ready to do everything to defend our Ancient.
This is like an insane back and forth between both of these teams. It's kind of like PA, Magnus, and Queen versus the Gyrocopter, the Slark, and the Spirit Breaker. And honestly, I don't know who's going to come out on top. Hardstyle's dead.
Hardstyle's certainly not going into this one. QO is there. He has got the Ghost Scepter, but that's not going to be enough as KP now picks up the kill. And towards the top lane, Febby, yeah, just getting the tracks out here on Seneko. No, it's actually bringing forward. They might be able to find this with a pounce as well. Seneko, he's going to fall. 3 heroes down at the moment on the side of Navi. Let's have a look at the buybacks. They're all short of the money to do so. The mid lane's being pushed in. The top lane as well is getting there in terms of creeps. And we may be looking at a set of racks going down.
Yeah, there's no buybacks. This is just racks. See, QO went from having nothing for an MKB to a full MKB in the last couple of engagements. So the amount of money that he got because of track gold pretty much put him over the threshold of being at that point in the game where it's like, okay, maybe Slark isn't that good against PA right now because I don't have that true strike. But now, both carries do. So guess what? All of a sudden, Havost, even with a Satanic, against double MKB, it's not going to be that good unless you get a nice RP and an Echo. So he's relying now heavily on his team instead of being that self-sufficient hero. And we talked about 1 Rax, that's double melee.
It's big indeed, and no chance of Navi finding anything off the back of that as MVP Phoenix are straight out of this. But yeah, as you said, 2 sets of melee racks at least down. Not the best position for Navi to find themselves. In terms of the graph, we've seen it. The MVP Phoenix recover that game. You know, we saw Navi bring it back down, but MVP Phoenix saying, oh, we're going to hang on to our lead in terms of XP and gold as well. We're now seeing more of an increase as it heads towards 20,000 difference favoring the side of the Radiant.
And Navi had such a nice timing. They had Aegis, there was no MKB on Slark, they were pushing high ground, it looked really good. And then the Shaker dies before he's able to do anything. I think the Gyrocopter clipped him with like a flat cannon and a call down or something like that. And then Dendy's not able to get his RP off. They get chased all the way across the map. They get 2 more heroes picked off, and it's just like into double racks. I guess the saying is, when it rains, it pours. And unfortunately for Navi, they are significantly behind at this point. And it is... I mean, it's on Dendi and Seneko. Like, they gotta land big ultis. That's the play. The Undying doesn't really do much at this point. Like, sure, the damage amplification from Fletch Golem is nice, and Tombstone is a minor nuisance, but, I mean, he's pretty much only bringing his heal to the table, and maybe eating a little bit of uptime on damage by just popping the Ghost Scepter and hoping that QO kind of, like, walks around and tries to hit you, so. Moon Shards now on this Slark, and there's going to be a Butterfly completed on KP soon. I dare say that this has almost gotten out of hand for Navi. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to turn it with this kind of deficit.
Well, they're going to have to need something spectacular, as you said. But yeah, this Slark is just looking absolutely disgusting at the moment. QO certainly knows what he's doing, and we've been talking about him a lot, but KP's Gyrocopter, 15 kills, 12 assists, has only gone down to 3 times this game. Pretty stellar performance here from MVP. Let's see what they can do here. Going straight in on for Vorst. Vorst getting low. RP from Denny, they're going to control the Kuro, but he's got the Dark Bat. He's going to be fine with the Shadow Dance as well. And now KP moving in. The damage is too much. Navi need to get themselves out. Vorst falls. That's going to be Funny going down as well. 3, 4 heroes down. Vorst buys back. Artstyle is dead. It's only Dendi and Vorst that are going to buy back, but I don't know what they're going to be able to do without the help of their team. Funny has got a buyback available here in this situation, but both Artstyle and Seneko can't return to the playing field. And MVP off the back of that might be ready to try and force the final 3rd set of melee racks. Here we go on to the tier 3. Buyback has come out from Funny, but now Havor's getting caught out here as Nuts as well. He wants some. He goes in here with a Hex, finds it onto Havor's. Funny now tracked up. Throws the dagger out to Febby, but now KP finds the tier 3. Now moving forward, tracks have come out left, right, and center. They've got full vision at the side of Navi. And here we go, QO blinking forward with the bash as well. Funny will blink himself out now. Havor's trying to fight, but now with the cooldown, Nuts with the sun as well. Havor's, he's going to melt. That's a dieback. Havor's is down. GG is called. MVP Phoenix take the first game in this series, and what a performance from the team that climbed their way up through the wild card. And now here they are in the group stages, taking a game from Navi.
What else can you say, man? That performance from March, like the charge inside of the pit, making sure that Denny didn't get his RP off, they take a 3v5 at Roshan and win. Like, when you're under that much pressure and you're able to make plays like that, it's just a hallmark of a very, very good team. And I don't really think there's any arguing now that MVP, they're good enough to compete with the best. Yeah. Like, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind. Like, they can take a game off of anyone, and people who are watching this game are going to have to, like, even other teams, like, they're going to have to respect the fact that it's possible. And sure, Navi made a handful of mistakes this game, not going to lie. I still think they had a very, very strong timing and a good opportunity to be able to just go high ground and straight up Rax MVP if they had executed properly. But as much as a team can make mistakes, you still have to be good enough to be able to win. And I think that MVP, like KP, for example, QO, March, they all played very, very solid games. And Febby, like, he died a couple of times, but he still did his job, which is what he needs to do, is just throw out tracks and gather information for the team. So very impressive stuff coming out from MVP. I can't wait for Game 2.
Absolutely indeed. And it's always nice to see something like the Slark in the mid lane do well. You know, these kind of things that we don't expect to see in competitive, but teams turning up to the plate, doing it against teams like Navi and proving that it can work very, very nicely. Indeed, MVP Phoenix on a whole proving to be a very formidable team. And as you said, this is just game 1. We're going to have game 2 between Navi and MVP Phoenix coming up right round the corner. So don't go anywhere. Let's see if Navi are able to bring it back like they did, of course, against Cloud9 and take the second game from their opposition. We'll join you guys in a few minutes for game 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the coverage here on the second stream for the International 2015 group stages. It's myself, OD Pixel and Draskell, and we're ready to get ourselves into what is the third series that we've covered today in Game 2 between MVP Phoenix and Navi. Obviously, first game, if you missed it, you missed out on quite a spectacle as Phoenix were able to take a game against Navi. Now, with this second game, what's the game plan here? What went wrong for Navi, or in your words, would you say what went too damn well for Phoenix that Navi want to look at stopping them from doing this time?
I think last game, they had a really good composition for Navi. They had a very clear timing window where you have double blink on the Shaker and then the Magnus. And with PA, you rely on that Empower to just deal a ridiculous amount of damage and then just go end the game after a couple of good team fights, right? Like you had a really good initiation tool in the RP, and you had backup initiation in the Shaker. And the way that Seneko played earlier, I was like, yeah, you pick Shaker for him. He is very good on the hero. It's one of his most played, one of his best performing heroes. It didn't seem like that plan was bad. But Seneko had an off game, And Navi, they're going to open things up here with a Funnick Bounty Hunter and a Shadow Fiend. And now, Bounty Hunter is a hero that Funnick was playing a super long time ago, right?
It's his hero.
Like,
isn't it?
he was known for Bounty Hunter, and he was known for Clinks before really anyone else played it. When he played for Empire, these were the heroes that he really, really enjoyed. So I'm excited to see him back on that. For MVP Phoenix, they played a phenomenal game. Like, their coordination during the team fights was actually the thing that was most surprising to me, and their ability to focus down the primary targets, and March especially, like his disruption during those team fights and making sure that Dendi couldn't get his ulti off, and they managed to kill Seneko multiple times before he was able to echo. That, to me, kind of sealed it for Navi in Game 1. So looking to tie things up here, Navi with a very strong opening 2. They are going to give away Gyro Tusk, though, to Phoenix, and that is a scary combination.
Absolutely strong heroes across the board being touched up by both sides here. And yeah, as you were saying, Phoenix, they obviously love the bounty hunter themselves. The fact that Navi this time picking it up against them. And you'd imagine, obviously, with a team like Phoenix that do obviously want to run this bounty, they're going to essentially maybe know what to do against it if they play it as much as they do.
Every team knows, like, Bounty Hunter has just been picked so often in 6.84 that if you don't know how to play against it, you're probably not a Tier 1 team, because every Tier 1 team plays it pretty much. So I wouldn't be shocked at all to see MVP prepare for the Bounty Hunter lineup, and even just banning out the Clockwork.
Yeah,
that's kind of just saying we want our Bounty Hunter to be able to do well, because all a Clockwork has to do is carry dust, and if you hook shot into Cog's battery, the Bounty Hunter can't live through that. Like, you just die. You have no counterplay. So I'm thinking right now for Navi.
Wait, Phoenix banned the clock.
Oh, yeah, excuse me, sorry. I read it backwards. Okay, so
I mean, I guess it kind of in a sense, not for the bounty, but for the Tusk in the sense that clock can disrupt a lot of what Tusk wants to do when he goes.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely true as well. But I'm actually surprised that they banned it. I thought Navi would ban it for sure, but I definitely misread that. So now we're looking at the Dazzle ban. Pretty standard stuff. I wonder if they're going to go for another Shaker or if they're going to go back to the Wyvern. I think
Wyvern's been banned. First ban. They Phoenix banned it out this time.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so
okay.
they
it has to be
straight in there. They really don't want Seneko playing his Wyvern, which is understandable.
It is kind of like first, second ban material, though, in a lot of these games. And then you can just go for Shaker if you want to put him back on Seneko. It's still very good against Tusk. That's the one thing. Like, some games you pick that hero and you say to yourself, I need a big echo. But some games you pick him and you just say, all I need to do is land like 1 or 2 good fissures, and I can just completely split up the fight. And I don't really need to be the guy who gets the Blink Dagger at 15 minutes in, like we saw in the series earlier.
How are they going to ban out the Breach? So they're banning out all these kind of offlane heroes when, I mean, you would expect it to be the Funnick bounty. I mean, maybe they're going to put someone like Artstar and have it as a roam. I don't know. It is his hero, and you'd expect it to be on the offlane, but maybe they're going to look to put someone else in that position and have whoever is playing the bounty be more mobile. But nonetheless, we've obviously seen them play it before, but I think they'd respect how strong that hero can be with a Gyrocopter and a Tusk. It can be absolutely destroying if you can get that alongside those heroes. And now with the third pick from Navi, I mean, it is a question about the Shaker. Do they take the Shaker? Obviously, the first game we saw Shaker today was absolutely incredible from Seneko. Last game, he still found a few good Echo Slams, but it was just not on the same level as the performance, unfortunately, that he had in the previous one. But nonetheless, very nice against the Tusk, and also very good to have when you've got an SF in the mid lane.
It's been a polarizing performance for him today, like overall. So I still think you kind of have to be comfortable, though, with picking it. It's just a hero that you play so much, and it's still very good.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with picking the Shaker in this scenario. It's just a matter of, like you mentioned, is Seneko actually going to be the one who was supposed to play Bounty? And with the Darkseer pickup, it kind of just solidifies the fact that, and they're not going to put Funnick on the Bounty. They're just going to give it to Seneko instead and let him try to, or Artstyle could play it too. Yeah, I think it's actually maybe more likely that Artstyle plays it even than Seneko in this case. But it does mean Funnick is going to play Darkseer.
I mean, with the Darkseer now picked up, I'd really like to see the Earthshaker come into play here. I think it would be very nice, yeah, if they put the Funnick.
It's 3 melee, though.
I guess so. I guess that is the weakness we've got here.
Yeah, 3 melee is... Maybe it's not as bad when you have a support like Bounty Hunter who's known for roaming around, typically you don't want to have 2 melee supports if they're going to be around the same area on the map. It just seems a little bit weaker. But if you have 2 supports who are not on the same side of the map, and one of them's kind of roaming and the other one's just sitting in lane trying to babysit, maybe it's a little bit more acceptable in that case. In the Vacuum, Echo, and like Fissure combo, it does seem very alluring. Like that combo is definitely strong. I'm just wondering if they want to actually pick that many melee when they're up against Gyro and Tusk, because they're both very good against melee heroes.
Indeed. And the third pick from Phoenix, actually a hero that we haven't really seen had a look on many of the series today, but nonetheless a very strong one. Witch Doctor will be the pickup, and I believe it is Phoenix, isn't it, who are the team that they're crazy for this guy. I believe their 6.84 win rate is something like 10 wins and 1 loss with this man. So for them at least, if you want to win a game, you pull out the Witch Doctor, a hero for them at least with over 90% win rate. And this is the game to do so. If they can take a series against Navi, that's going to be very good in their progression through the group.
I like the Witch Doctor pick too, just for the sole purpose that right now, if you look at their lineup, it's very well balanced in terms of damage output. Like they have good magic damage. The Death Ward obviously going to supplement the physical DPS once BKB start coming out. They're not picking a team that just gets hard countered by magic immunity. And we've been seeing a lot of that today, right? Like we talk about the item timing and the composition timing of, okay, we need to win the game by this point. Otherwise, BKBs just totally screw us over. And they're not picking lineups like that, which I really, really like. And Navi right now, they're kind of in the same boat. Like they have good physical damage with the SF, and they're going to have the magical damage coming out from the Darkseer. And of course, Bounty's kind of like a hybrid of both. Like he can shuriken, but mostly he's just there for the track. So teams kind of adapting, making sure they're not picking up like nothing but magical DPS. Like sometimes you pick like Lina mid, and then you have like Shaker support with a Lion, and then the enemy team buys a BKB, and you're like, oh, actually we just don't deal any damage to you anymore. You know, that kind of stuff happens. So
okay.
Navi?
Bane picked up. I mean, that is art styles here. So I guess we are looking at a Suneko Bounty Hunter.
Yep.
Funnick on the Darkseer, and of course still just waiting for her Vorce hero on the side of Navi. Phoenix themselves, we can imagine that it's going to be March on the solo lane Tusk, and either Febby, of course, or Nuts on that Witch Doctor. Okay, no. Okay, so it is going to be more of a roaming support Tusk, and March will pick up the Spirit Breaker once more for that offlane.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, this is a fighty lineup, I guess you could say. Like Spirit Breaker, Tusk, and Gyro, they all want to fight in the early game. Witch Doctor is also very good, so if you... I wonder if he's going to go Maldic this game, or if he's just going to go for Voodoo Restoration. I mean, 1 point into Voodoo Restoration is pretty standard, but some people, with this style of lineup, if you Maldict and you have a Tusk and a Gyro go in, that hero is a goner. Like, if you live through the Rocket Barrage itself, the Maldict will likely kill you. So I'm kind of wondering if he's going to go for the offensive build, or if he's just going to be content to go for the heal. And Navi, they have a couple of ways to stop the Spirit Breaker charge, but they can't really pick Earthshaker at this point, right? Because they need a carry.
Yeah, they need a Vorce hero.
So there's a couple of ways to stop charges, but I think the Spirit Breaker is going to be arguably more disruptive in this game than he was in the previous one. Because at least in game 1, they had like Magnus RP, they had Earthshaker to be able to stop him from going in. You know, they had Queen of Pain, who, yeah, she built a bit tanky, so she doesn't really worry about the Spirit Breaker that much. She can blink away. This game, you got a bunch of heroes that really can't move around, and you're pretty much looking at Surge to get out. Like, that's your out right now.
Okay, final ban from the side of Phoenix. They're going to take away the Juggernaut, pretty much like they did in the last game here as Navi. Well, something they do normally like to do, leave that Havorst hero for that final pick. And let's see what they're going to go for this time. It's going to be the Slardar.
Right.
Okay, they've got the SF, as we talked before, when it was picked up before. That combination with the amount of physical DPS you can get out between these two heroes. And TA is going to be the final selection from Phoenix. And we have seen QO do an absolutely amazing performance on TA previously. Let's see if we can do it this game. I mean, TA SF in the mid lane, how does it pan out?
Well, TA has the advantage for sure. In fact, if the lane is left completely alone, and both heroes just get the 1v1, at level 6, the TA will just kill the Shadow Fiend. Like, just straight up. So, basically what happens is, when the TA is going to hit level 6, the supports typically go give him sentries, just so you can make sure that if the TA traps are dropped on your high ground, you have to kill them. Because the trap just sits there, and he gets one off, and he has another one off cooldown, he can drop it on you. You get Tower Dove, and there's no way you can contest, because Shadow Fiend does not have any instance damage. He has nothing but, like, big hits, so raises and right clicks. But that's not enough to break through Refraction in time. You end up getting Dove. So what I imagine is that they're going to have Art Style pretty much sit around mid, try to do what he can, you know, let Dendi get off to a decent start, and you'll start seeing him push the wave out really hard once he gets to level 5 and 7, and then potentially you can farm some stacks if Navi are able to do that. But they might also use... Are they going to use Seneko or are they going to use Art Style? I guess it's probably better and safer to use Art Style, because he can just go mid and even skill Enfeeble if he wants, or he can just get Nightmare and be generally annoying, and then you can just have a Havost farm safe lane. And I guess we'll see if MVP want to try to go for some pressure, or if they want to just do like a standard offline solo Spear Breaker.
Indeed, MVP, all heading into the Radiant jungle at the moment, all full 5 of them. And of course, it is that situation where you've got to line up with a Tusk. So they're going to be very happy looking for an engagement at this time of the game. Question is, are Navi going to walk into it? Seneko leading the way here with the Invis. Do they have any sentries? They do have a sentry on Febby, so if Febby drops a sentry here, just per chance, they might be able to find something, but no, Seneko keeping his distance. Doesn't want any chance of that happening, and it looks like Navi going to be able to play safe enough to not get themselves caught out at this point.
They saw the Invis, though. They pinged it out as soon as the second Shadow Walk came out.
Let's see if, can they contest this rune? The QO guarding at the moment, the rest of MVP ready to come down the river. Top lane, Dendy will be able to get the bounty rune for himself. Seneko might look for a cheeky steal. But no, it's a little bit too cheeky for him. He's going to leave that one the way of QO. And both of the mids on respective sides grabbing themselves those bounty runes. In terms of the bottom matchup, that is actually going to give Dwayne's going to be the money there for a Sow. So he's going to realize that he's potentially going to have a bit of trouble early on with the TA's harassment. And TA herself, of course, with the build she's got, just 50 gold short of the bottle for herself.
Yeah, this matchup mid is going to be really rough on Dundee. And Seneko looks to be the one who's going to be sitting mid here. They do drop a sentry straight away, and QO...
Oh, they both tangoed
okay.
at the same time.
That was actually insane. I can't believe they both did it at the exact same time.
Very quick reactions from both sides.
Yeah, but Seneko actually has 2 sentries, so that's not that big of a deal. And he's okay with making this trade, right? Like, giving Dundee an easier lane, it doesn't matter about the EXP so much for the SF and the early lane. It's just about getting the souls. Once he gets the souls up, it's whatever. Like, Seneko can decide to go do whatever he wants after that point. It's just getting Dendy to, like, even getting 5 or 6 souls is more than enough. You gain, like, 12 damage, 14 damage, something like that, and you're pretty much good to go.
I mean, what do we reckon about these lanes then? So kind of dual lanes coming out from the side of MVP. You've got March and Febby down here trying to deal with Havorst and Artstar. And then top lane you have Nuts. And, of course, KP dealing with the Funnick Darkseer.
Funnick's going to get a lot out of this lane. It's actually very difficult for this particular hero combination to kill him, unless for some reason they're able to stun him while Surge is going out. But it's important to keep in mind that Witch Doctor has a travel time on his stun. So unlike Rubik or anybody else with an instant disable, you're not going to be able to cast it on him when he's surging away, which is typically the best time to use it because you want to circumvent the movement speed that you get from the ability itself. So when you cast Cask, if he's actually surging away already, the stun doesn't hit him until the surge is over, which means he's already too far away. So this particular hero combination is not so great at zoning, whereas bottom, it's like the man's lane. You got Tusk and Spirit Breaker. Eventually, they're going to try to go for kills, but I think Bane is tanky enough of a support to where I don't think either team is really going to kill each other unless they really hard commit.
I mean, either way, it looks like Havorst is going to have the farm secured for himself here. Artstar able to create the space. Still seeing Seneko. He really wants to try and look for that kind of bottle snipe there, well, to get the courier. But it's going to be QR holding onto the bottle and just looking to get the runes instead. Febby there as well, maybe just in case there was going to be any kind of sneaky action going on from the Bounty Hunter. But CS-wise so far, Dendy, thanks to Seneko's helping hand, having a grand old time in the mid lane. 14-13. 13 denies against QO's 3-0. QO getting totally crushed. I mean, if he goes down here as well, this is going to be terrible for him. Dendy, you're getting the first blood as well. I don't think this mid lane could have been won any harder.
This is a complete smashing. Like, 16-15 with first blood. Like, this is the dream for a Shadow Fiend. Like, getting a babysit like that, and your Bounty Hunter also securing you a kill, there is absolutely no way you're going to see a better start than this. Like, I don't really know what QO's game plan is going to be after that. Like, Dendy is already very far ahead. He's a full level behind, and we're going to see Funnick actually will drop in top lane, but he gets a counter kill.
Yeah, with the double iron shells by the looks of it. And bottom lane, there's a bit of action going on as well as a Vorst here moving in onto our March. March trying to charge, getting the bastions onto Artstyle's not going to find it. Now with the Slithering Crush of Vorst holding back Febby. Artstyle's salving up, and Artstyle might just move back in. He's going to have a brain sap in a few seconds if need be. Febby trying to run himself away from Vorst, but there's the Crush. Double kill for Vorst here.
And QO dies again.
Oh, wow.
So MVP's entire team pretty much just died. Every single person. QO died, Tuss died, Spirit Breaker died, Witch Doctor died. The only person who lived through that entire thing was KP. So we talked about how Funnick was going to get a decent amount out of his lane. He gets a kill. He does trade his life for it, and I think the support actually died after he died, so maybe not the ideal trade. Yeah. But still, Navi, they're off to an amazing start here in Game 2.
Certainly, and 5 for 1 at the moment on the board. And Suneko, as we were saying, the fact that he was able to secure that mid lane so hard, and he's got a fair bit of XP out of it as well, been finding the bounty runes, sitting out halfway through level 3, 4 minutes in. Not bad at all for this bounty hunter that's just been camping mid. Backup has been called in on the mid lane though. Febby now on the Tusk hanging around, and there's also Nuts potentially looking for a wraparound as it's indicated on the map. Dendy going pretty high up onto the high ground. They've got Suneko here as well though for this fight if it kicks off. Nuts maybe looking to try and wrap around onto this one, but he might actually get caught out by Suneko, and they might just go and look for the kill here. Dendy moving in. The paralyzing cast will bounce once. Suneko continuing to chase this down. Nuts should be okay just about with the Voodoo Restoration, and the side of MVP will get themselves out, but still, Dendy is certainly getting to the point where you've got to kind of ask yourself, what are Phoenix going to do about him?
The real problem is not even what are they going to do about Dendy, it's what are they going to do about Funnick now, because he's left alone. Like, he's level 5 at 5 minutes in. That's great. Like, he's got 1 death, but big deal. He's still getting farm and experience. That's all he really needs. It's not always a matter of what the mid player gets, is how much of a reaction the enemy team has to put towards you because of your performance in the game so far. Like, by Suneko camping mid, he's forced MVP to react to Dendy because of how much farm he's getting, and due to the fact that QO is... I mean, he's level 4. He's lower level than Navi's offlane right now. Like, that kind of thing cannot stand. Like, you have to do something about it. And when you make that rotation, you're automatically conceding the fact that Funnick is going to be getting way more out of his offlane. So now, MVP have the issue of them having to react to Navi. They're not pushing the pace. They're getting pushed.
On top lane, we're going to see a bit of a rotation as Febby coming in, maybe looking to see if we can find the Ice Shards to block Funnick off. Cooldown will connect, and the Ice Shards, no! They push him out the surge just quick enough for Funnick to get himself on the right side of that one and gets himself out of there. So unfortunately for Phoenix, a rotation wasted.
Now that was really close though, to be fair. Like, that was barely off the mark, and Suneko continually being annoying here, chasing down onto QO. He is getting charged, though. Yeah,
March coming in. Do they have any dust, though? Witch Doctor, no. It doesn't look like they do. There's going to be the defensive nightmare anyway. And Suneko is going to be able to get himself out of there. Nothing coming of it for MVP once more. And still just kind of forcing QO back out of the lane. And Dendy's starting to clear up the creep camps here as well in the jungle. And Suneko with this double damage. I mean, he's going to maybe go for something onto March if they can find the crush. And there we go. They're going to get it. And with the double damage, I think March could be in a lot of trouble. He has got a charge. No, he's not going to find it. Force there with the bashes, bringing down the Spirit Breaker. And that, of course, is going to be the 3rd kill now for your safe lane Slardar, who's having a grand old time in terms of the farm as well. Still slightly losing out there to the KP Gyrocopter. And again, you always talk about KP. It's going to be all about what this Gyrocopter can achieve in the mid-game, and talking about everything in the mid lane. QO caught out by a Nightmare, but there's going to be backup this time from MVP. Artstyle might be in trouble. Gets the brain sap off now with the snowball, keeping QO alive. QO, can he get himself out of this one? Yes, he can. Artstyle will fall, and now Dendy, final right click, finishes off Febby. So it's a 1-for-1 in the mid lane. Both supports trading their lives, but Dendy, of course, getting that kill, and now on a killing spree 7 minutes in.
Nah, I think he could have actually killed them both. It was unfortunate. I think the way the Ice Shards were landing, he couldn't get a good line on the 3rd raise. So when they used Ice Shards and went into Snowball, that 2nd raise missed. So he was trying to line up the close range. When March,
oh, he's just going to be able to charge out in time.
That was nice.
Only just.
Yeah. And I think Dendy, okay, he's either, no, he's going Aquila for sure. Never mind. I forgot he has Wraith Ben in his inventory. I thought he might be going Yules for this game, which I actually think would be okay.
Okay, Suneko was able to pick off Spirit Breaker there on the retreat back to base.
Jeez, this early game for MVP is a total disaster right now.
Can they get, have they got detection? Nuts? Nope. Febby, yes he does. Pops the sentry up over here though. Suneko is going to make the right movement back.
Oh, he's going to soak the EXP as well from the TA. That's
Oh,
so annoying.
TA's out of mana and out of regen. Can Seneko get himself this kill? He's going to chase it down. Febby is there to help out the TA, but with the snowball, Seneko needs to be careful. Can he find it? He might be able to. The shuriken!
Oh my
He
God.
gets the kill. He's going to pay with his life, but I think that's more than worth it there. Finding another kill onto TA. Artstyle is getting charged, but should be able to make his way back over to this right side of the map. And Seneko might not have had a great game with the second game as Shaker today, but now on his Bounty Hunter, proving to be back on form at the moment. 2 kills, 3 assists, and an invaluable amount of work done to secure Dendi that mid lane.
His experience is actually very high as well. Like, he's halfway to 6 already, and it's like not even 9 minutes in. So a roaming hero being almost level 6 at this stage in the game, he is very, very high level for this point. And if he gets that track up early, like, compare his level to QO. QO is level 6. The roaming bounty hunter is almost on the same experience per minute as the mid player from MVP.
Nightmare onto QO. Artstyle hanging around. Denny moving
March.
over the Requiem from the high ground. He's going to catch a couple of them. March gets off the Nether Strike, but now they're trying to chase it down and they'll find the kill there with the raises. Bane with the final touch with the Brain Sap, and they are going to be able to bring down that Spirit Breaker. Another kill here for Navi. 10-3 at the moment, 9 minutes into this game. And the difference, it's actually starting to get pretty heavily out of control, heading towards 5,000 in terms of difference for net worth, and XP around the 4K mark as well. 9 minutes in, that's a pretty big difference.
I'm actually amazed at the contrast between these two games. It seems like today, one game goes very lopsided for one team, or it's a crazy back and forth, or it's like 1-1, but the second game goes crazy lopsided for the other team. It's just like, how can one team play so well in one game, and then in the other, it's just like from the get-go, they're kind of just getting rolled over. I don't even know if I want to attribute it to draft. I think it's just like MVP are just getting caught out and outplayed. I mean, they didn't address the Bounty Hunter at all, right? They let QO stay mid in a 2v1 against an SF, and there was absolutely no reaction. I think it still would have maybe been better to just have maybe Nuts sitting there from the beginning, so the Shadow Fiend and the Bounty couldn't just bully QO around, because then, after a while, even if it stays as a 2v1, the TA is at least self-sufficient after she hits, like, I don't know, level 5, level 6, something like that, and you have max level refraction. But because he got punished so early, he's not really able to do anything on his own anymore, and he needs, like, constant babysitting.
And, well, Havorst at the moment is, 10.5 minutes in, has got the Blink Treads completed as well. So he's going to be quite a force as well if he catches out anyone on the side of MVP. KP still there in terms of net worth. Let's have a look what we're looking at the moment. And well, it is Dendi at the moment. 6.2k, 6.3k gold on the man, and looks to be what is going to be, the completed Jewel Scepter on his way out as well. 11 minutes in. This man's looking pretty terrifying. Top lane, Funnick was able to, that's finally kill on Gyro. They do lose the Bounty Hunter. Funnick might be in trouble as well. We're about to surge himself, but with the Walrus Punch, the Cask as well, holding him in place. There we go. Finishes off there with the Snowball. Will be a double kill for Febby. So, we are seeing a favorable trade there come out for MVP, but they did lose the KP Gyrocopter.
Now, the 2 trade for the 1 core, I think that's still okay for MVP, considering, like, Febby was a little bit underleveled, and now he's made his way pretty well back into the game. He's almost level 8 right now. The one thing that's scary is Dendi already having Yules means that he's level 11. He can solo kill anyone on the side of MVP. And I think after this, he probably just goes Blink into BKB. It's a pretty standard build that a lot of Shadow Fiends do nowadays when you don't feel like you need mech, or you just have somebody else on your team who makes it, in which case it's going to be Funnick for this team. And I'm guessing right now MVP are looking to defend their bottom tier 1.
Oh, there we go, Dendi. Is he, he's not going to go for it with the Requiem, just going to use...
Is he dead? Okay, he has Refraction, never mind.
He's good. He's got the charges, he's got the refraction, and Dendi might try and chase this, though. There's going to be backup in the form of March and KP coming in. Dendi has got his full 5-man behind him. TP towards the mid lane from Tusk. We might see something kick off here. Seneko just getting the tracks out, making it very hard for MVP to find a jump onto Navi. And with that, MVP realizing this is not the time to fight from that angle. And Navi just go back to farming up the lanes with a TP to the top from Havorst. Maybe looking to see if they can catch out Nuts, and here we go, blinking forward towards Nuts. Nuts has got to run, he's got to hide, but there's no doing that with the amplified damage on you. With the Slitherine Crush, the bashes as well. One more will do the job, and a dominating streak for Havorst now continues to hold him in that second place on the net worth board, just behind Dendi.
I think Havorst probably just goes Midas again this game. Yeah, he's buying it. This game is a much more acceptable Midas game.
Can they get? They've
charge.
got a dust, but Dendy there with the Yules, and now with the Requiem, perfect timing, blows up March here on the Spirit Breaker. Now with the Snowball coming onto Dendy, KP's moving in, he's bringing Sneko low. Now he's bringing Dendy low as well. Dendy's got a haste rune, might even try and turn this one. He's got the Razor as well. Sneko chasing him down. The dust has come out. Sneko and he skips himself out. Razes there, finishing off KP on the Gyrocopter. Dendy looking for more QO with the TP out for the sidelines. Now with the track onto Febby. This is a lot of track gold going the way of Navi. It's going to be a triple kill for Dendy, and it might be more. Yule Scepter holding Witch Doctor in place with the Razes, the punches, they'll get him as well. Bane picks that one up, but essentially 4 heroes falling in quick succession there on the side of MVP. What's going on top? Well, is Kyo in a lot of trouble. He's looking for Sneko, but Avorst is there to back up Sneko. They'll bring it down. Bunch trying to go in, but I think you shouldn't do that because Avorst, he's got a Blink Dagger. He might just go for this. Oh, he's not going to go for it. He's not going to go for it, unfortunately. I was hoping for a little bit of ham there from Avorst, but he gave me cold bacon. And now bottom lane, Dendy with the push onto the tier 2. But that, again, 17 for 5. Navi, what an engagement. Essentially, well, over time, it was everyone dying.
Yeah, everyone in MVP died. By the way, are you saying cold bacon is bad?
I don't know. I was looking for...
Because bacon is bacon.
Well, bacon is bacon, but I prefer hot bacon.
Okay, I guess that's fair. That's fair. I'll let that one go.
If it's going to be cold bacon, I'd rather have ham.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's fair enough. I'm looking at this game right now, and I'm thinking to myself, how did MVP get themselves back into the game? Because right now, it's Blink Yules on Dendy.
We're at the 1,000 difference per minute now. 14k lead, 14 minutes in.
This is the most one-sided game that I've seen so far. Like, not just in our stream, but in all of them. Like, I know that there was a secret Fnatic Stomp earlier, and then I think the first game was like Fnatic stomping secret, but I think this is even more one-sided than that in mid.
Fiend's Grip, here we go. Art Style straight away. The wall's being dropped as well, making it very hard for MVP to do anything in response. They're not even going to try. QO's just cleaning up this ancient stack here, but it looks like Navi want to go for more here. Art Style, Sneko, Funny wrapping around, but now with the cast. This is nice with the Death Ward. Okay, that's going to be one hero down. Can they find Sneko here as well? Snakeo's pretty damn tanky, though. The Walrus Punch going to bring him down low, and will bring him down indeed. That's going to be that Dendy now turning up to the fight. Looking for the Requiem here from the low ground. March getting low. Can Dendy continue to fight this? They'll find 3 heroes so far from the side of MVP. Now Denny blinking forward, looking to get onto QO. QO turning his attention toward Funny. Avorst going forward there. They're going to kill him as well. 4 heroes down on MVP, and they'll be able to clear up the rest of these Ancients. Big plays here from Navi. We looked at that lead. It was not nice for MVP Phoenix. It's going to be even nastier now with these Ancients and those kills going the way of the Radiant.
So Dendy is going to almost have his BKB after this dies, I think. Okay, they're going to back off. They realize that MVP are now reviving, and they don't want to risk it. So they didn't lose too many of the Ancient stack. Their team is actually not very good at killing it at this stage in the game. So I understand Navi's hesitance to go in there and try to just clear that out completely. But it's still like the graph just isn't stopping, Owen. It's just not stopping. They're just continually getting farther and farther ahead. And I mean, sure, every kill you get for MVP right now is worth so much. Like, if they kill Dendy, they're going to get a ridiculous amount of gold. Like, thousands, probably. Just from one kill. It's a big if.
I mean, it's, what, 16 minutes in? They haven't been able to kill him yet. He is now pretty much double the net worth of the highest person on the side of MVP. KP, and actually there's a fight going on. Let's have a look.
They bashed him up the high ground!
There's a missile chasing him down. I don't know if it's going to be enough to kill him. What level is the missile? It is only level 1. Sneko should be fine. He's got the Glimmer Cape as well. The dust has come out with the Nightmare now to March. Holding back the Spirit Breaker. KP will find the kill, but now Fiend's Grip, Slippery Crush onto the Razes. KP goes down. March, he's got nowhere to run. He'll fall as well. Godlike streak now for Dendy. They lose Sneko, but they take 2 back with vengeance.
That was almost like the sickest save by Artstyle. He gets a Nightmare off, and the dust wore off, but unfortunately for him, there were multiple people carrying dust
now,
on the side of MVP.
I don't think you want to be here.
No, dude, he's fine. He's going to walk it off. See, he's fine.
He can walk it off in the next life. That's... well... It's a bit of a stomp, a bit of a crush, a slithering crush to put it precisely. Avorst now, again, both Avorst and Dendy have not died at all this game. Let's have a look at the KDA. What are we kind of seeing across the board? Yeah, it's pretty horrific if you are an MVP Phoenix fanboy or girl. This is, and now they're going to get Roshan as well, Navi, turning their attention to it. I don't think there's anything that Phoenix can do at this point of the game to stop it. The amount of damage, that they're just going to take it in a matter of seconds.
It doesn't even feel like the game's been 17 minutes. It feels like a longer game, you know? When you see people with this type of item progression, like BKB, Midas, Treads, and Blink Dagger, like on Slardar, and Dendy having Blink, Yules, BKB.
18 minutes in.
Yeah, 18 minutes in. But this is what happens when you stomp really hard with a bounty hunter. Like, your gold inflation is insane. Like, you just get so much income from just killing over and over and over again. And they built items like... The reason why I said I thought Eul's was good this game before Dendy picked it up is it's such a nice item for being able to take those isolating engagements and just go for kills. And that's what MVP's team also want to do. But the thing is, they have track. So anytime that happens, so much more out of it.
Arstal's going to be charged up here. He's got the backup of Havorst if they want to try and turn it. Funnick moving in has the wall available for this fight if it kicks off. And just missing Dendy at the moment. He's looking to try and get the momentum of the creeps, heading towards this tier 2 on the top lane. And it looks like the rest of Navi will head to join him here. And you can just feel that Phoenix, they just can't find the time to fight. And at this point of the game, it's going to be so damn hard for them to do so. I just don't know how they're killing the members of Navi at this point.
That is the question. Can they actually kill anyone? I mean, to be fair, their heroes aren't actually that tanky. Like, even 1400 health, that's doable, right? As long as you're in a situation where Navi are maybe trying to push high ground or you catch them out in the Roshan pit. But unfortunately for them, Roshan's already dead, so... Maybe you can kill Dendy once, maybe you can kill Havos once, but Dendy with the Aegis, I'm not entirely sure if they can take him down 2 times. The best, most likely the best play here is just to go for the tier 2s and just play it safe. Like, again, every single kill that MVP get is worth a ton because of the lead that Navi have right now. Like, we're looking at 20,000 gold, over 15,000 experience and 19 minutes in. Like, that is staggering.
Yeah, it is. I don't think in just casting, I don't remember the time I've seen a stomp that was this big. The differences being created in terms of net worth and XP are absolutely ridiculous. And this tower is only going to push it even more here, as they should be able to claim this one nice and easily from the mid lane. More money there into the pocket of Navi. And just the final tier 2 getting indicated here on this bottom lane. They're going to come and push this creep wave back in, but Phoenix at the moment just in the base. They just... I don't think they know what the plan is here, because I don't know if there is a plan that you can do to stop Navi at this point.
The plan is pretty much don't die in top lane. That's the plan.
Well, let's see. Kyo doing a fair bit of damage in return. Oh,
Okay.
The Fiend's grip there as well. There is going to be a charge. Maybe MVP feel that they can fight off the back of this. Going to go for Artstyle here, but Artstyle's going to create. They saw the double dust coming out with the Death Ward, but they're just not killing anyone. Havorst finds March. The Death Ward might kill Havorst. It does. They're able, which is pretty impressive. The first time he dies this game. Now Nuts and Febby turn to Artstyle, but Artstyle with the help of Seneko should be able to fight this one. Funnick turned up as well. KP has come in with a very nice cooldown. Can they find anything at the back of this Funnick? They're going to be just able to get himself out of there. No one's going to die here other than Havorst. MVP do lose 3 heroes for it, though, across the map, and they'll almost certainly, well, they're going to lose this tier 2 here as well. They may even lose KP. There's 3 heroes, well, just 2 at the moment chasing it down, Funnick and Seneko. Yeah, looks like Jari's going to be okay. But I mean, one of the better trades that MVP's had this game, but that's not saying a lot at this point.
Well, it was a trade.
It was a trade. They got something in return. They got Havorst.
Most of the time this game, they haven't been making trades. They've just been dying. So to make a trade is a good trade if you're MVP. And if we discount the gold that they lost from dying, it was roughly like 500. 1 hero was almost worth the same as 3 heroes from the side of MVP. That's ridiculous, because when Havorst died, it was 1,330 gold. Like, that's a lot of gold for 1 kill, right? No, it's probably not going to be reflected in the graphs, because
no, it's
Navi
the
still,
overall difference.
yeah, Navi still got more out of it. It's just to say that
we might see a little dim.
Yeah,
a little one.
Just for the sake of argument, if MVP managed to defend their base in a big way, kill like 2 or 3 heroes, maybe they kill Dendy and Havorst or something like that, the gold swing is going to be massive. Like, that's what they have to hope for. They have to hope that Navi go high ground and get wiped.
Oh, just the difference, but it is getting to the point where there really isn't a lot to say. The proof is in the pudding. Everyone can see it at home. And Kyo now offering up his life to the gods.
Oh boy.
There's nothing you're doing to save that TA, I'm afraid. They are going to try and fight into this though, but Force popping the BKB, going for March here. The track's on him as well. Now he's going to go and help Seneko here, looking for Febby. Death Ward has been popped out, but now with the Nightmare, cancelling the channeling. There's, well, Dandy here with the Requiem, connecting onto KP. They've lost 2, they've lost 3. Who is dying? Well, it looks like at the moment it's Jara dying. Everyone's dying. Nuts is the only one to live. Nuts has been... Well, okay, maybe not. Artstyle going forward. Here's Dendy and the gang. Havorst is there as well. Double kill here for the Slardar. And, well, 32 for 9. They're onto the tier 3 here in the mid lane. With all the tier 2s down elsewhere, I don't think Navi going to be leaving this base anytime soon.
Yeah, I think they're going to go ahead and hang up some curtains and stuff, get some rugs, put it down, make it nice and comfortable.
This is their base now.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
I don't really know. It's like you mentioned. What else do you really say? Is Navi just completely crushed them? There's not really much the MVP can do at this point.
Over 30,000 at 23 minutes in.
This has got to be one of the biggest advantages I've ever seen in a game.
It's got to be a record. It's got to be close to it, at least in this patch. I don't think differences of this big have been.
Because see, it's very rare to see games like this, as our style wants to go forward.
KP, he doesn't, because he just gets taken down immediately. Let's see if they can kill one. They might kill Artstar. No, Glimmer KP, he's going to be fine. Guardian Greaves as well. I don't think they're killing anyone on the side of Navi. And no, they're not indeed. GG is called. Navi will take game 2 here against Navi. Oh, they lose to Nako. There we go. They find something.
Even killing the Bounty Hunter with no kill streak was worth 850 gold. Like, that's how big of a net worth difference there was between these two teams. So, again, it's very uncommon to see games like this, because if you're winning that hard, usually the game just ends, right? Like, you get like a 20,000 golden experience lead at 20 minutes, the game is just over. Like, every hero on Navi just had such insane GPM. Like, Dendi had 800 almost. Sardar had 600. The Bounty Hunter, who had 16 CS, has 500 GPM. Like, that difference is staggering for a competitive game. So, again, MVP, they leave the series 1-1. I think they'll still feel like, okay, sure, getting stomped doesn't make you feel good, but you can come out of the series saying, look, we took a game off of Navi.
Yep.
We're feeling pretty good about it. And Navi are going, yeah, we should have done that both games. You know, they're thinking, like, if we win this hard, shouldn't we have just won the previous game as well? But series goes 1-1. And, I mean, this is our last game of the day.
It is, yeah. This is the 6th match that we've covered.
Leaving off on a stomp like that.
Yeah, definitely the stompiest game we've seen today. And, well, in the tournament as a whole, I believe, across the streams, as we said, I've not seen the Secret versus Fnatic game, so maybe that was on a similar level. But this one was certainly something. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, so Navi end up equalizing this series, taking it a 1-1. Both teams walking away with 1 point each. So I believe that now puts Navi onto 2 points in the group stages because of their matchup with Cloud9, in which they were able to secure a game and lose another. So be sure to check out those leaderboards, which I'm sure they will be showing, of course, over on the main stream. On this stream, though, there will be more action coming. I'm not too sure on the matches coming up, but I do know that it is going to be LD and Gods that are going to be following them with you for the rest of the day. But from myself and Draskell, that is it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the cast and the coverage here at the International 2015 group stages. We will see you personally tomorrow for some more Dota 2. But don't go anywhere. There is still more to come here with LD and Gods. We'll see you guys tomorrow.